Hello, hello, and welcome, my Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Path of True Love reading for May 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and very, very happy to be serving you, my friends. How you doing? I know, we all are. If you are new to my channel, though, please do like this video. Subscribe to this channel, please. Hit that notification bell, because I am putting out content pretty much every single day, either through these recorded videos or through live streams in the morning and sometimes in the night or vice versa, right? Getting us all through this with some prayer, some meditation, and sometimes, no matter what I have planned, the people who join in, we just make each other laugh and get each other through this. So come check us out, but you'll know when I'm doing that by hitting that notification bell. And by all means, please feel free to comment in the description box, in the comment section below, because in the description box is where you will find all of the links to all of the decks that I read with, giving credit where credit is due, as well as a lot of other cool info about the Path of True Love and other stuff that I do, and Vimeo on demand, and just a lot of coolness down there. Go have a look-see-duck-see, my ever-studious Aquarians thinking outside of the box. But let's talk about this reading, shall we? This is a general read. Please take what resonates, leave what does not. Check your other signs. That's why I do Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Only pulling 7 cards in what I call a card draw, meaning that I'm only going to pick one card from 7 different decks to get you some clues, some tips, some hints about where you are on the Path of True Love, in this case timeless, whenever you're watching it, or for May 2020. Now, what's the Path of True Love, you might ask? There are some links down there in the description box that'll go there for you, but to put it in short, it is your healing journey, your spiritual journey, your hero's journey through your relationships, which takes a hero's kind of heart to do the Path of True Love, right? But it's all about you, even if other relationships are indicated here in whatever way, shape, or form. It's all about you becoming the true love that you already are, removing the excess marble from the magnificent divine shadow, statue, Jungian slip? Removing the excess marble from the divine statue underneath all the stuff we have picked up along the way, lifetime after lifetime, to let your true nature, your unconditional love, the truth of who you are really shine through love, hence the Path of True Love. Cool, cool? So here's the dealio. I'm going to focus on my breath to get you the guidance, clarity, and grace that I have been trained to do for my entire life. If you do the same, you'll be so in the present moment, you'll be able to feel what resonates and what doesn't, and plus we'll all get some oxygen, which is a great idea, I'm thinking, considering what's going on planet Earth right now. Breathe. We're going to start with the Caroline Mace archetype deck to see what's the dominant archetypal force going on within you for the Path of True Love for May 2020 or timeless. Shall we? Oh, let's breathe. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity. For the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the Path of True Love, come here, you. For May 2020 or timeless, whenever they are watching it, please, what is the dominant archetypal dynamic, the soul power that they are alchemizing from lead to gold? That's 2 cards. Please, just one card for the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Path of True Love, May 2020 or timeless. Who we got? Like a virgin, touched for the very first time today. The very first time virgin, the virgin archetype. Now I am a Virgo, I have a touch of the virgin archetype. But this one doesn't have so much to do with sex. I mean, it can, but not really. The shadow attribute, a fear of intimate union. Now that need not just mean fear of intimate union with another. That can be a fear of intimate union in a conversation, fear of intimate union with the divine. In other words, wanting to keep oneself completely intact and never vulnerable. You're with me? The light attribute, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Now, what I find interesting about that from my own personal process is that the goddess that sits in the throne of Aquarius, your sign, is, well, technically that's Medusa, but who made the Medusa? Athena, a virgin goddess. Now, that doesn't mean she never did it. It just means that she was never married, right? That she was never owned by another, never wanted to give that kind of power away to anyone. Therefore, chose to be a virgin, but I'm pretty sure she had her lovers. Being gorgeous, number one. Being wise, number two. I'm sure she did what she wanted to do without anybody else controlling her. So keeping that in mind, I have the virgin archetype in very, very small ways in my life. I've investigated a lot of these archetypes within my own life. Reason, season, and lifetime. The thing is, it's like I am a bit of a purist when it comes to the arts. Like bad choreography, just shoot me, I can't stand it, right? Or like people are like, do you want to go to karaoke? I'm like, do you have any wild horses that could drag me there? I can't stand to hear people sing off key. So I'm a little bit of a purist that way, right? So that maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit, but sometimes that can go into other areas that I get a little, I won't say snobby. Yeah, okay, I'll say a little snobby, but a purist in that sense. Virgin. So interesting on the path of true love, right? To want to keep certain parts of yourself intact, that you maybe don't want to get your heart broken. So maybe you are walking the path of the Virgin for the month of May. Now I have a song from Camelot playing in my head. Let's move on. Let's ask the angels. With the Healing with the Angels Oracle from Doreen Virtue. What is the angel y'all are healing with? Hence the Healing with the Angels Oracle. Shall we? Breathe. Oh, my angels, please, one card in clarity. For the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for May 2020, please. What is the Healing with the Angels Oracle card to indicate what they are healing with the angels on the path of true love? May, hey, too many. May 2020, please. There we go. Thank you so much. Or timeless, whenever you're supposed to be watching this. Study. The card of study, that there is a lesson afoot. And then really the Virgin with that symbolic purity, it's like, no, I want to study the core of this. I want to find the purity of this. Now, that word study doesn't just mean, picking up a book, or searching on the internet necessarily, but to focus, right? Like a study in classical music, right? A study in fine art, a study in pottery. Usually that term is relegated to the arts. But it can be really even looking at your path of true love, your relationships, as more of a lesson. To do it as an air sign, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign, from a place of study. It's like, well, you know what? I'm going to guard myself. I'm going to step back. I'm going to see this from a higher perspective and study my relationships. Look at what are the gifts that were given that maybe I haven't received from some of the hardships and traumas. When I didn't get what I wanted. Are there gifts? Did I develop some skills, some traits, some strengths along the way that I have not completely embraced because I haven't really studied and looked for them? Keeping in mind, a lot of us are in isolation in some ways. Some of us might be sequestered in our own domains at home. So just keeping that in mind, a good time to look things over. That's what we're going to ask the goddesses through the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, where you are on the path of true love. Now, when I say the goddesses, yes, I do mean Athena and Hera and, all of the goddesses of all the pantheons. But I also mean the collective divine feminine energy, which is the divine yin, half of the universal energy, which is within all of us, right? The masculine, feminine balance and all of that. Nice deep breath. My goddesses, please, one card in clarity for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love. What's going on for them on the path of true love for May 2020, please? We've got the Virgin, right? We've got the card of study from the angels. So, my goddesses, what say you for them on the path of true love for May 2020 or timeless whenever they are watching this? Temperance. Now, I love the card Temperance. It really is a card of discipline and patience. And I'd like you to think of cooking for a moment. If you are making, I don't know, hollandaise sauce, perfect example, or something involving raw eggs that you have to gradually heat up so they do not curdle or scramble, you are going to temper it. Same thing with certain types of chocolate, right? You want to bring up the temperature gently. So think of that in terms of creating a balance over time with discipline. In this case, balancing fire, your element of desire, and water, your element of emotion. That this might be part of your study, that maybe you are being a bit virginal right now, you know, crossing your legs, pulling up the drawbridge, not letting anyone in, to kind of sort of maintain your own purity of spirit and heart in order to study what needs to be balanced in you a bit more long term. Now, that's the thing about temperance. It's not a quickie, right? It's not something that you do on the run. It's something that does take time, sort of like building a muscle. Like, yeah, you can work out one day and never again. That's not going to really temper the muscle, making it stronger, right? Like tempered steel. It is something that has to be done repeatedly and over a period of time, and do take discipline. So that internal balance, like alchemy, little bit at a time, little bit at a time, little bit at a time. Like even when people say they lost their temper, what that means is they lost their discipline. I know we confuse temper with the word anger, but we temper our anger through our discipline over time. You know, patience is a virtue in that sense, and perhaps one that as a virgin archetype, at least for the path of true love, really studying how you are in relationships, kind of getting a balance there, a healing, healthy balance that do take time and do take practice. Let's look at the divine masculine, because for the divine feminine that makes sense, right? The internal, the yin, the emotional, maybe with that card of temperance. Let's ask the divine masculine, the gods, the other half of the universal energy. Breathe. My gods, please, one card in clarity for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for May 2020, please. What's going on for them on the path of true love or timeless whenever they are watching this? My gods, please. We have the card of the lovers, and who is on the card of the lovers standing there on this side is Athena. Just called her out, right? So this is the judgment of Paris. That's Paris holding the golden apple there, having to give it to the most beautiful goddess. And three goddesses step up for that: Athena, Aphrodite, and Hera. Symbolically speaking, wisdom, love, and power, the threefold flame of the heart. Now that's a real no-win situation. No matter who he gives that apple to, it's going to piss off the other two. And he does end up giving it to Aphrodite, because Aphrodite promises him the most beautiful woman in the world to be his lover. And it's Helen of Troy, and it starts the Trojan War. Careful what you wish for. But what we're talking about here is perhaps a love affair or a love situation where a major life-changing decision is in play, and you can only make that decision based, I would say, from what you have here, by taking your time, by not rushing into it. Now, this can be more about loving yourself, right? Because Athena is offering wisdom, right? Hera is offering power, and Aphrodite is offering love. Well, can you balance and temper those three forces in your own heart? Perhaps learning how to love yourself, learning how to make, catch this, wise, loving, powerful decisions. Third eye, heart, throat, choices. Choices, Tatiana. Interesting layout. And by the way, 2 major arcana cards. That does not happen every single time. But certainly when it happens, it's saying that there is something of a higher calibrated vibrational spiritual dealio going on, to use the vernacular. Let's ask the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, baby, Love Pack. Love, baby, that's where it's at. What's going on for you? There are 4 suits in this deck: the problem, luck, healing, and grace. Let's see which one you get here. The voices of the Ascended Masters. Shall we? Nice deep breath. Oh, that deep breath was everything. One more, please. Oh, my Ascended Masters, please, one card in clarity for the Aquarian Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for May 2020 or timeless. Please, where are they on the path of true love, considering the collective? Says the Virgin archetype, the angels, the card of study, healing with the angels of study. The goddesses are talking about temperance. The gods talking about the lovers, a major, perhaps life-changing decision that might have to do with a relationship of love in one way, shape, or form, maybe even love of themselves, to walk away from something that will change their life in the doing. So what is this about, my Ascended Masters? Please, a piece of luck, a piece of grace, a piece of healing, or a piece of the problem for the Aquarian, Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. There we go. When I say one card, I mean one card. That's my agreement with them. If 2 come up, I got to keep going. Holding on. Holding on as a problem card. So this might very well be about having the strength and really learning the lessons to let go of something of which you are holding on. Now look, if it was easy, we'd all be doing it. It's not easy. I do recommend the book, The Universe Always Has a Plan, the 10 Golden Rules of Letting Go by Matt Kahn. Actually, his healing mantra deck will be the last card down on the table. Because it's not just so easy to let go of that which you have been holding on to. And here, really, we're looking at some form of dependency depicted in this card. So on the path of true love, are you the one who's holding on or the one being held onto? Because there is a life-changing decision in play here, and one where you might have to be brave. You gotta be bold, you gotta be bad, you gotta be wiser, you gotta be strong, you gotta be tough. You got to be stronger. You got to be cool. You got to be calm. You got to stay together. All I know is love will save the day. And that Lover's card, yes, I know. I just took us back to the 90s, didn't I? But there's a problem there in holding on. There's a dependency. There's a fear of what will happen once you lose on, that free fall, that openness, that fear of being alone or lonely, right? And that's why I don't know whether this is you who's being held on to or you doing the holding on, but this is something where there is a major lesson with the angel card of study there. Remember, it is a healing lesson. So with 2 cards left, let's really go in on this one. Let's ask the Whispers of Love Oracle, the voices of the higher selves. What's going on here for you? Nice deep breath. The higher selves of all involved, please. 1 card in clarity for the Aquarian Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for May 2020. Please, higher self collective. What's going on for this Aquarian Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign? They got the Virgin. They've got the study, they've got the temperance, they've got the lovers, and they've got holding on, and it is a problem. I could feel that. I just can't tell who's holding on to who. Maybe they're both holding on to someone or something with like a stranglehold. So please, higher self collective, 1 card in clarity. What do they need to know on the path of true love for May 2020 or whenever they're watching this? It's about romance. Lavish the one that you love with your personal attention and affection. Now, here's the thing. These 2 do tend to contradict themselves then, one would think. But maybe it is saying you're holding on to a romance or perhaps a romantic illusion, and that's going to take time and discipline, perhaps, to let go of that. Now, nobody wants to hear that in a reading, but if you are the one who is in a codependent paradigm relationship situation, know that there is a very powerful lesson here. Because here's what I know directly from experience. Look, I've been with a lot of people over this lifetime. I was a nun in another life, not my last one, but I was a nun in a couple of lives, right? I was a monk in one life, but that was more Buddhist, and I was a nun in another life, and that was a Catholic nun. Like, there's another kind. Well, I guess there are Buddhist nuns too. So in this life, I kind of made up for some lost time that way. I kind of danced on some tables. I mean, I've had some long-term relationships, but to know that whenever I've had to really let go of somebody, because I held on for dear life, and some of them, sometimes they just held on to me, but we have contracts, right? Soulmates, twin flames, all that kind of stuff. So when we do let go and trust, and I do recommend Matt Kahn's new book, I'm not kidding, it's really good, then we kind of get that with every loss there is gain, and that sometimes the party's over and it's time to move on, right? But particularly with romance, lavish the one that you love with personal attention and affection. If it's not this person, then maybe that's you're being held on to, and you're being told to move on, because there is a romance calling you forward. Let's get you a healing mantra card then from Matt Kahn's healing mantra deck itself. One side of the card is the name of the mantra, the other the mantra itself. There's nothing else written on the card, so I will refer to the book that comes with it, as I like to call it, Ye Old Bookie Book, because there's a paragraph or so in there that I find very helpful with these cards. He's very insightful. He's a great teacher and a really good writer, a great writer. Take a nice deep breath. Because we're going to ask the Ascended Masters who gave you that card holding on, the problem suit there with the card holding on. My Ascended Masters, please, one card in clarity. What is the perfect healing mantra for this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for May 2020? Please, what would help them here? Because we've got a Virgin archetype here who is learning, who is studying, and learning probably about temperance and balance in a lover's situation where a big decision has to be made here. But there is some holding on. I still can't tell who's holding on to who, but it is romantic in nature. So please, my Ascended Masters, what is the perfect healing mantra for this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign? Transforming tragedy. Loss is my reminder. Here, let me do that for you. Transforming tragedy. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. Talk about a bullseye reading. Talk about every card really supporting each other. Rather than go on and on. Oh, I opened right to the page. Transforming tragedy. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. When tragedy is transformed, you see that endings foreshadow the inevitable arrival of exciting new beginnings. Yeah. It may not feel good to lose the things that once defined you, but it is life's way of expanding your identity to invite more passion, joy, and synchronicity into your reality. As you transform tragedy, any degree of loss merely sets the stage for the arrival of greater gains. And there is absolutely, particularly for a virgin experience here, there is new romance, but what are you holding on to? Maybe what you're holding on to is past tragedy. Maybe there isn't somebody in your life right now, but you're holding on to the pain. Maybe there's some tempering that really needs to go on here, something that you really need to learn in order to move forward. This mantra is ideal for overcoming personal struggles, mourning, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, mourning the death of a loved one, and releasing regret, transforming tragedy. That's like this plus this plus this plus this plus this equals that. That's a very, very clear reading. So may the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed on the path of true love for May 2020 or timeless, that the Virgin archetype within them can study and kind of learn the balance, the discipline, the temperance about their love relationships, perhaps in general or one in particular, where there is some holding on. Either they're being held on to, they're holding on to someone, or they're holding on to something, some unresolved thing about romance in their life, so that they can transform tragedy, learning, studying that loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. I know, seems like a little fly in the ointment, but that's the path of true love for you sometimes. It is a healing path. It is a path of learning, healing, growth, and transformation. So may you be blessed, my darling Aquarians, on the path of true love for May 2020. Please do, if you feel like it now. I doubt you do, but if you could like the video, hit the subscription button there, the notification bell, and comment below, I would be greatly appreciative. But even if you don't, I still wish you the very best and the very blessed on the path of true love for May 2020 or timeless. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.